first decision part. So I'd like to ask that. So you have done anything differently with this decision? And so again, you have done differently with the decision that you made in the past? Hi, my name is Jing, and the purpose of this assignment is to enhance our knowledge and management theories from our Week 4 and Week 5 lectures. So, I had the opportunity to interview Colin Kong, a group manager at Great Eastern, which is a Singaporean-based insurance firm. With over 20 years of experience, Colin leads a team of associates and focuses on providing financial security for clients. So this presentation will cover three main areas: leadership style, decision making, and key learnings and reflection. So without further ado, let's begin. So Colin uses a combination of democratic and laissez-faire leadership styles. As defined by Mullins in 2016, democratic leadership is defined as the group members have a say in decision-making as there is more interaction within the group. For laissez-faire, it is defined as members are given autonomy to act while the manager serves as an observer, only acting when necessary. So this slide shows why I think Colin uses the aforementioned approaches. So for democratic, he allows his team to provide outputs, which he would then decide based on the validity of those outputs. For laissez-faire, Colin served as an advisor for an event execution, giving his team complete freedom over the execution of the event, and he only intervened when needed. Colin also adapts his leadership depending on the culture and maturity of the team, which aligns with situational leadership principles discussed by Thompson and Glasso in 2018. His use of DISC profiling to understand team dynamics reflects his emotional intelligence, a key component in modern leadership, as mentioned by Herhorn and Baccarat in 2020. Colin motivates his team by laying out long-term goals and supporting them throughout. He gives credit to his team rather than himself and provides short-term incentives to keep them going. So this reflects transformational leadership, where the leader creates a shared vision and fosters commitment and motivation, and this is mentioned by Mullins in 2016. So now we are on to decision making. So for this slide, it demonstrates how Colin makes the decision based on the four management functions: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. He begins by anticipating the needs of the clients, set the team goals and strategies to achieve them, which is followed by building structured systems and allocate tasks based on this team's abilities. He then inspires and motivates them using short-term incentives and provides support. Finally, he monitors his team output and only intervenes when needed. This aligns with the concept of manager as an information processing nerve center by Herhorn and Baccarat in 2020. So, of course, everyone has their own problems, including Colin. So, in his position as group manager, he faced two kinds of problems, which are structured and unstructured problem. You all may ask, how does Colin solve both of these problems? So, it is actually based on two types of thinking: intuitive and systematic thinking. As we can see here, for simple insurance claims, since they are structured problems that are straightforward and informative, his team can apply previous experience to deal with them, which is done by intuitive thinking. As for complex insurance claims, it's difficult to determine whether a claim can be done or not. So, Colin solved this issue by using unique ways by brainstorming with his team and using AI tools such as ChatGPT to gather more information for research and to solve complicated insurance claims, as complex insurance claims lack information and full of ambiguities. As what Colin said, the toughest decision for him was to fire his employees. To him, it pains him to lay off the people whom he worked alongside for a long time. When new regulations on insurance were introduced by Bank Negara Malaysia, many were hesitant and reluctant to obtain the license, including him. However, as a leader, he understands that it is for everyone's good. So he enforced the regulation onto everyone, which shows transactional leadership by Mullins in 2016, where he acted based on legitimate authority. So he then tried his best to convince his team into taking the license, which was successful, which is linked to idealized influence where his charisma managed to get everyone on board. However, for those who are still reluctant, they were dragging the team down. For Colin, he had to do what he had to do and fired them despite not wanting to do so. This scenario has shown the source of Colin's power, which comes from legitimate power, which is as a result of his position as a group manager, and coercive power, where he has the power to punish and control. So, on to reflection and key learning. So this interview with Colin has taught me a lot about being a leader. So for the first lesson that I learned is good leadership is about constant evaluation, where adaptability is much more needed than authority. Colin emphasized on the importance of situationally adaptable. So rather than be an autocratic leader, from his viewpoint, understanding people and utilizing their abilities are keys to success, of which I agree. This is a lesson that highlights the importance of situational leadership and emotional intelligence for a leader. It changed my view on being a leader, as I'm more of an autocratic leader in the past, which affected the effectiveness of my team. Therefore, I will adopt this lesson in my future leadership roles. Second, as a leader, it's important to set clear directions and motivate your team to that direction. Colin emphasized how important it is to set a goal for his team to work towards and motivate them to achieve it. This is closely linked to transformational leadership, where it is a process to give rise to high motivational and commitment among your team. From our interview, I found out that in the past my team lacked motivation severely. Therefore, they were less incentivized to move towards my organizational goals. And lastly, as a leader, you will have to make the toughest decision that will not satisfy everyone. Colin disliked laying off his team because they were unable to adapt, but it is a necessary move to achieve organizational goals. From our interview, I learned that it is impossible to satisfy everyone in your life with your decisions. It is of utmost importance to make the hardest decision. So this is Wise to University by Colin. So a conclusion from this interview. So I learned three things. First is that it enhanced my knowledge and understanding of management theories from this unit. Theories such as leadership styles that includes democratic and laissez-faire leadership styles, and decision-making theories such as intuitive and systematic thinking to solve unstructured and structured problems. Two is that it helped me to understand how management theories are applied in real life. For example, Colin demonstrated a management theories known as emotional intelligence by using DISC profiling to understand the needs of everyone in his line of work. And finally, this interview has made me reflect back on my past as a leader and how I can improve on it. For example, I have realized from my interview that an autocratic style of leadership may not be so suitable, whereas a democratic and laissez-faire leadership may be more effective. And thank you for listening.